Definitely not the starters. You're on the End of the Bench podcast from 100.7 The Score.
I'm Mike Hebert, owner of Cantex Roofing and Construction. Every day is game day, and we'll get it right when it comes to your roofing, construction, windows, and mirrors. Call Cantex Roofing and Construction today. Together, we are one serving you.
Welcome in. It's the End of the Bench. I am Rob Breaux alongside Craig Wells, Lucas White, Sutton Stokes behind the glass here. We're watching live sports at 9 a.m. It says live. We've got volleyball in Turkey. No, Thailand. They're playing Turkey, Team USA. So it's always exciting to have live sports at 9 a.m. in the fall. We'll have live sports at 11 a.m. in the fall, summer, whatever it is now. We had Labor Day. Is it fall yet? Or is it the 22nd, September 22nd or something?
Yep. I think it's officially fall when
Football.
you kick off the first
college
college football game. Yep.
At 11 a.m. on Saturday, as Texas Tech will play Kent State. We'll have Optimum Game Day Live starting at 7 a.m.
Okay.
Take you all the way to 10 for Jensen and the boys in their pregame, and then 11 o'clock kickoff.
Trivia time.
Okay.
What happened at Kent State in the 70s that gave them notoriety that you don't really want? See, I don't think you guys are old enough to remember it.
Some sort of riot.
Yeah. National Guardsmen they were protesting the Vietnam War.
Yes.
National Guard came, and it got ugly, and I think they said in 13 seconds, 4 people were killed and 9 were injured, and it was a ugly scene, but it was a Vietnam protest. And then there's a famous Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young. You know who that is? Everybody know who Crosby, Stills? Yeah. There's a song with a line in it, 4 Dead in Ohio, and so it was a pretty well-known song in its time.
Hot start for the day here, Craig.
Yep.
We could
Kent State.
I could have saved that one for maybe the second hour.
Kent State.
Kent State. Well, now they're known for being bad at football. Mark Carney.
What are you talking about? They're undefeated.
They are undefeated.
We're bringing an undefeated team in here to play.
Spin Zone City here from Craig. Yes, they are undefeated. They were defeated for 714 days before that. Mark Carney, an interim coach. It's odd that you bring an interim coach into the regular season, but this is a program, okay, that was 5-7. Fired their coach who had drug them from the depths. They fired that guy, then they bring in a new guy who was there for 1 season, and then he's using the business card like a personal card, gets fired after spring football. They get this Mark Carney labeled as interim. So not only are they going into the season with a 20-plus game losing streak, they have an interim head coach.
Yep. They're
in disarray, basically. And then, if they're the 176th worst team, according to SP Plus, out of 133 FBS teams, by the way, if they're the 176th worst team, Merrimack, who they beat,
177
at least. But it was Realist Clark, who had a kickoff return late. He's fast. I think you'll have to contend with a few athletes here with Kent State. I think they'll probably be more athletic than Pine Bluff. But I expect similar results.
Yes, I would think that was a good possibility. Haven't they, and I haven't looked at their stats that close, but haven't they kind of thrown the ball around the last couple of years and really aerated it, so to speak? And I think that will be good for us to see a wide open team like that, because we're going to see some in the Big 12. And
Craig, when you look at an 0-20 team
across
the stretch of land here, it's fairly easy to say they probably throw more than they run.
Yeah.
But let me ask you this: if you're down all the time, what are you doing?
Yeah.
So they could be a pro-style offense
but
that is just never in the lead.
it's called the desperation offense.
So you could call it the air raid.
Yeah.
I think it's more of the please God help raid.
Yeah. We got to do something, raid.
But they only scored 21 in the opener against Merrimack. They scored 13.9 points per game last year. They scored 14.7 the year before. And, of course, we're going across 3 coaches now, but 28.4 in 2022 when they were decent. But, yeah, you look at last year's offense, and, again, this is a new head coach, but I think he was an assistant last year. So you do have some crossover with the coaching staff. But you had 2.36 yards per attempt on the ground. If you can't run the ball, you're not going to. They did try to ram it in there 391 times for 923 yards. They had 3 touchdowns. 1,800 yards passing total. 12 games.
Could that be why they were 0-12?
I think that adds up. 923 plus 1,876 adds up to 0-12. Yeah.
And I have a question that I don't know the answer to, but I'll get your opinion. How is a team like that going to survive? I mean, if they get a good player, you know that guy is not going to stay there, and somebody's going to, but how are they even going to get medium players if you're coming off a 21-game losing streak or 22-game losing streak, and then, and you show no signs of turning it around. You got an interim coach. How do you go recruit? How do you get players? And I guess 0-12 tells you why. Why it is hard.
Yeah, that is going to be a really tough job for anybody. And defensively, last year when they were scoring 14 a game, they were giving up 44.
And, they don't play in the roughest league in the country. So
nope. Well,
their conference games are, probably 50% are legitimate good teams, not great, but good teams. You have one, Mac's always got Toledo's really good, I think, this year. But you've also got about 4 or 5 that are just a hair better than Kent State. And
they did play Ball State really close, 37-35. They played 3 Power 4 teams last year. Pittsburgh beat them 55-24. Number 9 at the time, Tennessee 71-0, and Penn State, number 5 at the time, 56-0. I would assume you're somewhere between Penn State and Pittsburgh.
Yep.
As a squad, Texas Tech.
And 52 or 54 the spread, 54.5.
40, I think 48.5.
48.5.
Where it is right now.
Yeah.
52.5 last week.
Yeah.
In basically 3 quarters and 1 minute, you covered.
Yeah, in my mind, they're going to be better than you, Arkansas, Pine Bluff. But I think you're going to be better too.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's going to be interesting. It'll be interesting. I just hope that we continue to get better, as Coach McGuire says, and at the end of the game, we had a good game, and let's go on to the next one.
We'll talk about Coach McGuire as we go through today. We'll also talk some NFL. We've got an NFL game tonight. We'll see what happens in that.
Playing time is not required. This is the End of the Bench podcast from 100.7 The Score.
Welcome back. 100.7 The Score. Oklahoma State what?
Oklahoma State, Oregon on at 2:30.
There you go. You can watch at least 30 minutes of that one before it gets bad.
Yep. CBS.
I don't know. It might be.
CBS Paramount.
It might be good. I don't know.
Which brings me to Tech and Kent State, not K-State, but Kent State on TNT and Max this week.
Now, I think there was a... Is this the TNT debut, or was there a TNT game last week?
I don't know.
This is the debut? Now, we used to be on TBS here at Texas Tech in the Big 12. It was a college football game of the week. So now we'll have the Big 12 game of the week here on TNT, HBO Max. Anywhere you can stream it, you can watch it. Fairly exciting, I would say, to be on TNT. I don't know that, I wish Kent State would just come in and kind of, dream scenario is that they would just play insane, way over their ability this weekend and really get you ready for that Oregon State game.
Yep.
And you still win 56-0.
Yep.
But you could tell that they have a really, really good game.
Yep.
They execute to the best of their abilities, and anything that you get is because you're executing at a better level.
Right.
I don't necessarily think that's the case.
I don't want there to ever be a doubt.
Sure.
That we're not going to be.
Yeah.
But
even if they come in and it's just ugly and it's 77-0 or 85-3.
Yeah.
I don't know what's better for Texas Tech, that they come in and play really, really well and you win 42-6 and you're tested a little bit at times, or that you just completely dominate and cakewalk into Oregon State for the second straight week. I don't know.
I tell you what I want. I want them to play real well between the 25 and the 50.
Sure.
And don't ever cross the 50.
Yeah. Yeah, you can do whatever you want from the 1 yard line on your end to the 49.
Yeah, but don't cross that half yard mark.
All right, let's check the calendar here.
Your daily look at what's happening in the world of sports, birthdays, and holidays. Let's check the calendar.
Happy first day of the NFL season. Cowboys-Eagles tonight. You can listen to that on Double T 97.3. The pregame for the game tonight on Double T 97.3 will be 6 o'clock Red Raider football with Joey McGuire.
And I know a lot of people have, but if you have not listened to the Dallas Cowboy broadcast on Double T 97.3, you're in for a treat. Brad Sham is one of the, if not the very best, and the team that he has, I think Babe Laufenberg is great. He is an entertainer that is doing football analysis, and if you have an opportunity, or if you're in the car for some reason or at home and you want to listen to something, Double T 97.3, the Dallas Cowboy broadcast is excellent.
It's a strong
Yep.
broadcast. Pre-game, post-game, they'll take callers all night.
Yep.
On the post-game, it feels like sometimes.
Yep.
Similar to the Coors Light post-game show on Double T 97.3.
Yep.
Let's see. We also have the Astros and Yankees
featuring Rob
tonight.
Breaux.
That's right. Astros, Yankees tonight, and Chuck Hines.
Yep.
On 100.7 the score. We got a new blue marker. It doesn't look blue. It's going to be hard to figure that out.
Yeah.
And then Monterey, Wiley tonight, Abilene, Wiley at 6:30 airtime. That'll be myself and Kirk Kaiser. Well, Kirk Kaiser and myself, I guess he's the lead dog there. As they'll be on the radio at 93.7 the Eagle for Monterey.
Kirk Kaiser.
Let's see. It's National Macadamia Nut Day, National Wildlife Day, National Newspaper Carrier Day.
Yeah. The one that's left.
The one that's left. And let's see. It's Eat an Extra Dessert Day. So go wild, Craig.
Pretty much celebrate that day nearly every time I get a chance.
I'll have to see what's in the press box tonight at Lowry. They usually do pretty good stuff. All right. Any birthdays there, Lucas?
We have a few birthdays today. We have golfer Tom Watson turning a bright 76 years old today. We have Steve Lavin turning 61. Montez Sweat turning 29. Mike Piazza turning 57. Then we have country singer Granger Smith turning 46. Rapper Cal Scrooby turning 36. And last and certainly least, turning 44 years old today, Beyonce.
Well, the Beehive's going to get after you for that one. Certainly.
Hey, I wore
least.
a bee costume
you mean
so
that-
I can fit in.
You mean that country singer Beyonce? Yeah, right.
Yeah. Flop of an album.
Hey, it ain't Texas.
Yep. Cowboy. All right, you ready?
Yeah, it was a Beyonce lyric. Nobody got it.
Yeah. 1904, and this is just kind of strange, but in the Olympics, 2 discus throwers tied at 128 feet, 10 and a half inches for the gold medal. Now, you tell me they get 6 throws, and you tell me they're going to 128, 10 and a half tie, but they did, and one of them
awesome.
threw a throw-off. 1928, Ty Cobb hit his last hit of his 4,189. In 1965, the Los Angeles Angels became the California Angels. In 1998, the Carolina Panthers played their first game. In 1998, Jacksonville Jags played their very first game, fell to the Oilers 10-3. In 2008, the Oklahoma City NBA team got a name, the Thunder. And in 2022, Serena Williams played her final match. And we have some Texas Tech stuff that I've got right here.
Okay, we're doing show and tell here.
All right.
Oh, you got the paper. I thought you were pulling out some kind of memorabilia.
Texas Tech Sonny Cumbie completes 40 of 66 passes for 460 yards and 4 touchdowns in a win over SMU. 27-13. Also,
that was
in
a late
2012,
blooming game there at the end,
yeah,
right?
in 2012, A.J. Ramos pitches a perfect ninth inning for his major league debut, getting his first strikeout in a Marlins 8-4 loss to the Brewers. And in 2021, Tyler Shuck accounted for 2 touchdowns.
Okay.
Taj Brooks rushed for 134 yards and 2 touchdowns. And Texas Tech beat
Murray State.
Houston.
Oh, 22.
Yeah.
That was
21.
Chuck's debut. Oh,
38.
21.
21
That was at NRG.
in the season opener.
That was at NRG. Taj Brooks was awesome that night.
Do what?
Taj Brooks was awesome that night.
Yep.
He's really the only reason we won. He was the only reason we won
Yeah.
a lot of games in the next 3 years.
He not only kept us in the game, he put us ahead in the game.
Yeah, they had the ball in that. Houston had the ball in that game for like the entire first quarter.
Yep.
They had a surprise onside and some other things going on.
Yep.
A couple of more here. The Price is Right premiered on CBS for the first time ever in 1972.
Bob
on this
Barker.
day. And then another would have been birthday. Paul Harvey, 1918-2009 radio legend. And that's the rest of the story. Yeah. Paul Harvey.
Which, if you haven't seen his tribute to farmers, look it up on YouTube. It's excellent.
Also in 1886, Geronimo surrendered to General Nelson Miles in Arizona after 30 years of fighting.
Was Mike Leach there?
Yes,
Yeah.
taking notes for
Yeah.
his book on Geronimo. Yeah. All right, we will continue after this. 100.7 The Score. It's the end of the bench.
Definitely not the starters. You're on the End of the Bench podcast from 100.7 The Score.
Welcome back, 100.7 The Score. It is the end of the bench. Just made Craig's picks during the break for tomorrow. I didn't tell him, but he's now eligible for the Tiny Wheel. Congratulations, Craig. We won't put you in that mix, but unless you want to.
No, that's all right.
You will make picks with us, though. I meant to get your picks last week. I
Yeah.
didn't do it, but Just season totals and whatnot. We'll have your picks.
If I'm a tiny wheel participant, I change my picks.
It's a little more pressure. With
I go
all favorites.
Yeah.
All
I go right there. Straight down the line.
Just a couple of them here to talk through if you want to. We've got the Cy-Hawk Classic there in Ames. You've picked Iowa State. I think Iowa State and Kansas State have had a really interesting start to the year.
Yep.
They play each other in Ireland, and then they come home, and they both play very similar teams in week 1. They're week 2. And one of them does exactly what you expect them to do, and the other one, well, what I expected them to do, but what most people didn't expect to do.
Yeah.
One of them looked like they had jelly legs after Ireland.
Yeah.
One of them looked like they had been in a plane for 23 hours. One of them looked jet-lagged. And that was all Kansas State. Iowa State hammered South Dakota.
Yep. And on paper, South Dakota's supposed to be better than North Dakota.
I think they're top 4 in the Missouri Valley, and North Dakota's picked 7th or 8th.
Mm-hmm. Iowa State's a good team. I'm not sure about Kansas State. I think Avery Johnson hadn't gotten to the level that people expect him to get to. Brecht from Iowa State's playing a little bit better than I think people expected him to. Iowa and Iowa State, I think home field advantage is pretty big in that series.
Yes,
I really do. If the teams are really unmatched, I think that negates it. But I really think Iowa State's got a good football team. They're a little bit better defensively than I thought they were going to be thus far. And Iowa, up to this point, they don't have any offense. They can't score. And I think Iowa State can score. So we'll see.
Let's go Baylor at SMU. This is a big bounce-back spot for Baylor.
Yep.
You've got them winning.
Yeah, I do. I'm not an SMU. I'm a holdout as far as how good they are right now. I think it's still yet to be seen.
Yeah, I held out all year last year, too.
Yeah, I did, too.
They went to the ACC championship game.
Yeah, I did, too. But I think they had a schedule that
I agree.
Was a little
That's
bit favorable.
That's why I kept holding out, yeah.
And I think Baylor's a lot better than what we saw against Auburn. And I think Dave Aranda, being a defensive coach, that some of that stuff will be corrected. And I
hope so, because they got pushed. They got bullied.
Yeah, they did. Yes, they did. I have a more faith in Baylor than I do SMU. That's why I picked Baylor.
Well, I hope they correct it. I really don't care if they correct it one way or the other, except for I picked them to play in the Big 12 championship. Yeah. Hey, if Baylor wants to stink all year, I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that.
Don't let me stop you.
Kansas at Missouri. This is the first time in about 15 years.
I think Kansas definitely has a chance to win.
The border war?
Definitely has a chance to win. But I give the home team the advantage here. And I think that's the only advantage there is, because I think Kansas is really pretty good, and I think Missouri's pretty good. But I just think playing at home is going to be a big difference.
And then West Virginia, Ohio. This is a 3.5-point line.
Yeah, and that's the reason I took Ohio.
Insane.
Somebody knows something, and I think Rich Rod is still trying to get his players in his positions that he needs, and although he started with about 70 new ones or something.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be a bit surprised if it's not even a runaway by West Virginia. But if I'm picking, I just think Ohio, there's something there. If somebody's saying they're good enough to come within 3, I think they may be good enough to upset them.
I think there's 2 things that could happen here with West Virginia, Ohio. I think you're either going to look at the game afterwards and say, wow, Vegas is really sharp.
Yeah.
That was a pretty close game.
Yeah.
Or you're going to say, Yeah, Vegas is probably doing too much there. West Virginia won by 28. Those are the two outcomes I see. That it's either going to be a big win for West Virginia, or you're going to really say, hey, those guys know what they're doing. That's why you lose money in Vegas.
And in fairness to Ohio, Frank Solich was there for a long time. They've got a good football team.
Yeah.
I would say they're going to finish at the top 3 of the MAC, but if West Virginia were not to win that game, I think it's West Virginia's fault, not necessarily Ohio's.
All right, not going to spoil all the picks here. We'll flip down to some NFL games. Buffalo at Baltimore. This is a 1.5-point line. We'll pick it straight up, but this is an AFC contender versus an AFC contender. Two teams that for the last 3 years people have picked to knock Patrick off the perch.
Yep.
Hasn't happened that way. Burrow got him once, but I do think that these two teams are about as good as they've been. And I'm going to be taking the home team, and I think you're looking at that too.
Yep. I don't know. Buffalo, they just at times they don't look like a championship team. They look like a good team. I still think you have to go through Kansas City, but I think Baltimore's good. I think they've got a complete team. I think they've got a defense with Harbaugh as a defensive-minded coach. He's got good players, and I think Lamar Jackson, he ought to be playing for the Cowboys because he has had excellent regular season games and has performed real well in the playoffs.
That'd be awesome. Can we make that happen? I'd be in. Let's see. This is not on the pickup for tomorrow. What's going to happen tonight? But I do want to get your thoughts, Lucas, too. Dallas at Philadelphia. Philadelphia 7.5. We'll pick this one against the spread. The total 47.5. I don't need an over/under. Just 7.5 for Philly. What are your thoughts here?
They're going to cover.
Yeah,
I do. I think the whole Micah Parsons thing has put them behind about a game. It's going to take them a couple of games to be on the road to being as good as they can possibly be. But I just think the Eagles have got too many good players right now on both sides of the ball. Sometimes I say I wouldn't be surprised if so-and-so won. I would be surprised if the Cowboys won. I would be pleasantly surprised, but I would be surprised if they won.
Lucas, 7.5.
I'll take Philly minus 7.5, and then I'll take the over on the points. I think Jake Elliott and Brandon Aubrey will get a lot of action. Probably get 2 field goals apiece would be my guess. So I think there'll be a lot of points scored. So
always take the over on Brandon Aubrey.
Indeed.
I don't know that a lot of points will be scored, but I certainly think a lot of field goals will be scored.
Yeah.
I think both the defenses should be decent. Certainly, you have a lot more faith in the Eagles' defense. I'll take the Cowboys plus 7.5. Sutton.
Real quick question.
Well, let's get Sutton's pick.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to take Philly covering. It's either going to be a blowout or the Eagles are going to win by 14.
Okay. That
Real
feels
quick,
like a blowout in the NFL, by the way.
If the defenses are ahead of the offenses the first game, can they do anything to slow down Saquon? Or does he have his regular?
Oh, yeah. Saquon's had a bunch of good games against the Cowboys. More after this, 100.7 The Score.
Definitely not the starters. You're on the End of the Bench podcast from 100.7 The Score.
Welcome back. 100.7 The Score. It is the end of the bench. America's team, the Dallas Cowboys, are trending currently on Twitter for some reason. I wonder why. Where are the Eagles? Why aren't the Eagles trending? The Cowboys' all-time record against the Eagles is 74-58, by the way. What do you think Dak Prescott's record is against the Eagles?
I don't know, but you had some interesting stats for Saquon Barkley against the Cowboys.
Yeah, 67 yards per game in his career against the Cowboys.
Yeah. And you got to realize that was behind the Giants' offensive line for a while. But
I'm kind of letting my Cowboys fan out today, but I don't have to realize anything, Greg. Now, I'm a Commanders fan. Now I'm not a Cowboys fan anymore.
Yep.
But let's see. Cowboys led by Dak Prescott against the Eagles. They've played 13 times. Would you like to guess on a record for Dak Prescott?
9-4.
Lucas?
5-8.
9-4.
Good guess.
They split in 16 and 17. Split in 19. Split in 23. He has swept the Eagles. He has never been swept by the Eagles. Did not play the Eagles last year.
Yeah, the Eagles weren't very good there for a while.
The Eagles were awful to end 23. They were bad to start 24. Obviously the best team in football to end 24. I'm very intrigued to see what Super Bowl champion Sirianni is. Very intrigued. All right, let's do some burning questions here, Lucas.
2 minutes of non-stop in-your-face inquiries with no end in sight. It's time for Burning Questions.
Which sports duo defined your generation growing up?
On the same team?
Yes.
I don't know about a duo, but I have a trio. The triplets. Troy, Emmett, and Michael. Duo probably would have been Scotty and Michael.
Mine was Kobe and Shaq.
Yeah. What about your youth in the 90s, Craig? What was your
I'm going to
favorite duo?
say Roger Staubach and Drew Pearson.
Nice. The original 88.
Yep. I'm going to say that because the Cowboys became America's team, and that's when all that stuff kind of started.
Yeah.
Being who they are. But good question, though. Good question.
What about B.J. Simmons and Wes Welker? That would have been high school for me, but
Yep.
Cliff and Wes before.
Donnie Anderson. He's a little bit before me, but
Yeah. Who's the duo?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Donnie and Donnie? Donnie and EJ?
Yeah.
All right. What else?
All right, next question. How long would you go without taking a shower if you got paid $100,000 for each day? No shower, no cologne, no deodorant, just yeah. $100,000 a day.
$100,000 a day?
How many days would you go without showering or putting deodorant on?
I mean, forever? I would go live in the mountains alone.
You would have to.
Well, you could do that for 5 years, and then come back and $100,000 a day. Yeah, in perpetuity.
Okay, well, if
You
you had to
could
do
be
your,
a billionaire. Is it capped? You could be a billionaire by the end of it.
if you had to do your daily routine here in Lubbock,
I mean, $100,000 a day. I would take a while.
I'd say
A year.
If you went and lived in the mountains for 5 years and got paid $100,000, you'd accumulate to have $182,500,000.
That's enough to go ahead and take a shower.
You said,
I think,
yeah.
I think I'd go. I'm not greedy. I'd go a couple of weeks and then cash it in. I'd go about my business.
Certainly. Certainly a month at least.
Yeah. And you, Lucas?
What would you, Lucas? Would you go a week?
I'd go probably a week.
Okay.
I don't know. My wife would probably have something to say about that, but
I'd be a bachelor for
I
a
think
couple
she'd
of
be
weeks.
all right.
I can tell you that.
I think she'd be all right.
she'll see the money and she'll understand for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, I got two more real quick. So, my wife and I are caught up with Only Murders in the Building with Steve Martin, Selena Gomez, and all that. When you hear the name Steve Martin, what's the first movie that comes to your mind?
Steve Martin. The Jerk first. But Three Amigos certainly right behind.
What's the one where he grows the big nose? Where he lies and.
Yeah. There's one where he has. I was trying to think of the one where he had the big nose, but
I don't know what.
I think you're mixing up Pinocchio and just another. I think he just has a big nose in that one, right?
Yes.
It's not when he lies.
Yeah. Didn't he? I don't know.
He becomes
I
a
don't
real
know.
boy.
If you had my first.
Maybe he has surgery and gets rid of the nose.
The first thing that comes to my mind with Steve Martin is Saturday Night Live.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
Wild and crazy guys.
Yeah.
Or just his stand-up. Have you seen the Steve Martin documentary on HBO? It's
not.
really good. The first half is, I think it's 2 episodes. The first half is his stand-up career, and the second half is his movie career. It's really, really good.
Steve Martin is really good, but when you paired him early with Dan Aykroyd, I'm telling you, they were hilarious.
And he wasn't a cast member, right? He just was on it all the time?
Yeah.
Hosting every year?
Yep.
I mean, if I'm going to Steve Martin show, or a movie, it's the first thing that comes to mind is 100% Cheaper by the Dozen.
Cheaper by the Dozen?
If not that, it's going to be Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
Yeah.
Great flick there.
What's the one about the wedding? The
Father of the Bride?
Yeah, Father of the Bride. I think that might be. I can't remember names of shows
Even
or
for my
songs.
generation, I mean, you could say the Pink Panther.
Yeah.
Like they have a hamburger yet? A hamburger yet?
And then we got a minute, so if you guys want to ponder this
Okay.
going into the break, your hot take for this upcoming NFL season. Anything that you want to...
All right, we will ponder this. We'll do this when we come back. I've got 5 bold NFL takes that I did a couple of months ago.
Okay.
I'm going to bring them back as we debut today.
Right.
They a couple of them deal with the Cowboys. We got a Thanksgiving Day bold take. And we'll do some more bold takes. So come up with a couple of bold takes for the NFL. I'll do it at Behind the Glass too. My first bold take is that the Cowboys will beat the Eagles today. And that is in there. I picked that months ago. I'll give you another bold take here that we've already talked about today. I seriously think that there is some relief in the locker room that Micah Parsons is not around anymore.
I think you're right.
I don't know that it's going. I'm not going to go as far to say that Micah Parsons was a cancer in the locker room. I don't think that's the case. But I do think that Dak Prescott, over his career, has become more in the locker room than out of the locker room. And certainly it flies in the face of what the Dallas Cowboys are built to be. It flies in the face of what Jerry Jones wants. But I think this locker room, this team, wants to close ranks. And Micah Parsons was an open ranker with his podcast and everything else. You couldn't do anything around Micah Parsons or he'd talk about it. So it could be a net positive. More after this.
Playing time is not required. This is the End of the Bench podcast from 100.7 The Score.
Welcome back. Double T 97.3. It is your opportunity tonight to watch these Dallas Cowboys versus the Eagles. We've got some bold predictions here. Of course, we're on 100.7 The Score. It's the end of the bench. In the First United Bank studio, you could call in with a bold prediction. The Visual Edge IT hotline, 806-771-0973. You can also drop your bold predictions on the chat line. You can also drop your favorite Steve Martin movie or your best duo from your youth, sports duo. Dirty Rotten Scoundrels is an option for a Steve Martin movie. Roxanne is the movie with the nose. That's right.
Yeah.
Bullfighter says, could have said Rob got paid $100,000 last Friday with how bad his picks stunk. You were one game better. That's all you need to be, I guess. Best tech duo, Harrell and Crabtree.
Yeah.
All right. Bold NFL predictions. You got one or two? Do you want me to give you my five?
Yeah, go ahead and give me your
all
five.
Right. I've said this a couple of times this summer. The Dallas Cowboys and Washington Commanders on Christmas Day will decide the NFC East Championship. I think the Cowboys and the Commanders on Christmas Day will decide the NFC Championship. It'll be a de facto championship game. Mostly, this is about the Eagles not repeating because you haven't repeated in this division since 2003. I think the Eagles are quite clearly the best team in the division. But this NFC East is just weird. So if I'm going bold here, I'm going to say that. I'm going to double down with the Eagles. The Eagles will start 0-4.
Woo.
So I think they'll lose to the Cowboys tonight. And then they play the Rams, the Chiefs, and the Bucks. Division favorite, division favorite, division favorite. I think part of the reason the NFC East has struggled to have a repeat champ is because in the NFL, first place teams play first place schedule.
Yep.
And obviously that's how it is across the NFL, and certainly the Chiefs with 9 straight haven't had that issue. But the NFC East hasn't been elite in a while, top to bottom. And so when you start playing around these Rams, Chiefs, Bucks kind of games, I don't know, the Rams might have a little something to say about last year's playoff loss. The Chiefs are the Chiefs. And the Bucks could beat anybody this year. I don't know that they'll beat anybody every week, but we'll see what they say. I think it's more likely they're 3-1. But 0-4, if I'm going bold, the Eagles started 2-2 last year before reeling off a bunch in a row. All right, the Bears will have their first 4,000-yard passer in the history of the Bears this year with Caleb Williams. And he'll do it against the Lions. The Buffalo Bills will beat Kansas City to start 8-0. The Buffalo Bills will start 8-0. If you want me to go extra bold, the Bills have the potential to be 17-0 this season. Nobody circles the wagons like the Buffalo Bills. And my fifth bold prediction, which I don't think is very bold, the Cowboys and the Chiefs will break 50 million viewers on Thanksgiving Day.
Yeah.
The record right now is 42 million. They'll break 50 on Thanksgiving Day. Mm-hmm. So those are my full 5 bold predictions. Probably the most bold is that the Eagles will start 0-4. Well, I guess the most bold would be that the Bills would go undefeated, but...
Well, yeah, but not to win a game out of the first 4 and you're the returning Super Bowl champion, that's pretty bold.
All right, what do you have?
All right, first of all, I think I'm going to jump out here and tell you that I think playing for the NFC Championship to go to the Super Bowl, one of those teams will be the San Francisco 49ers. I don't know how bold that is, but I think
that's pretty bold after last year
Yeah,
and what
yeah.
they did and their offseason.
I think Baker Mayfield will have the worst year he's had as a professional quarterback.
Wow.
I think losing his offensive coordinator is humongous. I think that really changes the game for Baker because they were really able to take advantage of what he can and does do, and I think they'll try to mimic that, but I don't think it'll be the same because sometimes it's not the play that's called, it's when it's called. And I think it's not Baker's not going to be bad because of Baker. It's going to be because of circumstances, and I don't see them being as good as they finished last year. And as far as the Cowboys are concerned,
Yes.
I don't know how bold this is, but I think Jerry turns it over to Steven at the end of the year.
That's pretty bold.
Yeah. I think this Micah Parsons thing and all the criticism he's taken, and he's 80-something years old, isn't he? 82, something like that.
Uh-huh.
And I think he turns it over to Steven.
Okay.
I mean, it's going to happen. It's just a matter of when.
Lucas, Sutton, y'all got some bold predictions?
I just got a couple, or a few actually. Saquon Barkley and Derrick Henry both get over 2,000 rushing yards this season.
Ooh.
Combined?
Uh-huh.
And they're going to go 0-4, though, Lucas.
We'll see about that. The Chiefs don't win the AFC West. I do like the Broncos or the Chargers to win it. That's just as expected of me to say, but that's kind of how I feel. 2 teams from the AFC South finish above 500. So,
Wow.
yeah. I would lean towards the Jags and the Texans
Sure.
for that to occur. And then I know just kind of watching preseason and everything, but I don't think the Saints win a single game this year.
The Aints are back, baby. Yeah,
I don't know how bold that is, but it is bold.
It's hard to
it's
go
hard to lose.
oh,
It's
yeah.
hard to
it's
lose
hard
every
to lose.
game. Yeah.
Hard to lose every game. That's real bold. But if anybody's going to do it, they've got the best shot.
I'm going to go with a hot take that Aaron Rodgers gets benched by week 3
Ooh.
and retires halfway through the season. And then I'm going to go with another one on quarterbacks that by week 4, Jackson Dart is the starter over Russell Wilson.
All in on that. I week 4 you said? I'd have to look at the Giants schedule, but I certainly think that could happen.
It should have happened in week 1.
If they turn it over to somebody, Jameis is not the long term.
Right.
If Russell Wilson gets hurt and Jameis needs to finish a game, he's the guy. But if there's any kind of, hey, Russell's hurt, we're going to play 6 weeks, it's Jackson Dart. If Aaron Rodgers is benched, they turn it over to Mason Rudolph.
Which they've done before.
Or Skylar Thompson.
Yeah, and Rudolph finished the season once before, right?
Yes, he did. Both Big 12 quarterbacks, by the way.
I'm going to follow up on Sutton's. If Jackson Dart starts over Russell Wilson, I think it's with an interim coach.
In week 4 or after week 4?
I'm going to go with he starts week 4.
Okay, so that'd be against the Chargers. The Giants start Commanders, Cowboys, Chiefs. They could certainly be 0-3. I'm going to go after week 4. I'm going to say week 5 against the Saints. He debuts on the road. Jackson Dart.
Are they 0-4 at that time?
Yes. And they might be Dable taking over or leaving.
Playing time is not required. This is the End of the Bench podcast from 100.7 The Score.
7 The Score, it's the end of the bench. Now, I don't know that looping in Barstool is going to be a huge opportunity for the Big 12. But I do think if you could get the college football show at Barstool to come to 5 Big 12 cities, and it's Provo and Lubbock and probably a Salt Lake at some point.
Morgantown.
They would absolutely go to Morgantown.
Especially late at night.
Boulder. I mean, I think you have a lot of places here. Stillwater. I mean, I could just name every city. Tempe, Tucson, whatever it is. Like, you have places, A, that I think they would fit in well with in the college campus, and B, that a lot of people in their audience, they just don't know about the Big 12. And I don't know if you could tell Barstool employees to come here and speak positively on the Big 12. I don't know if you're cutting them a check to do that. So it might be that it's a negative because they just come here and dump all over it. Who knows? I mean, that's the risk you run here. But I think trying things is so important for your mark because there is such a gap. You're behind.
Yep.
And you're not going to get Fox on your side more than the Big Ten. You're not going to get ESPN on your side more than the SEC. And these other sports brands like On3 or anything like that, The Athletic, I mean, what are we doing? It's just not the same. The third kind of media, online, internet presence behind ESPN and Fox, and probably in front of Fox on the internet, certainly not in game broadcasts, but on the internet, is certainly Barstool. And love them or hate them, they move the needle. And I do think that a lot of what they do in the last 10 years is pizza reviews and clip aggregation, and he was the unboxing king during COVID, Portnoy was. He has his day trading in the summers. But I think at the crux of it, it's just a college football opportunity for a college football show to be on campus at Big 12 schools, and I think that's a positive.
Okay, I totally agree with what you talked about, Yormark. I am in awe of what he has convinced presidents and ADs to try. I mean, he's opened up the eyeballs of people and saying, hey, look, we've got to try this, this, that, and the other. In your opinion, do you think if they throw this bar stool up on the wall and it sticks and it takes off, is there a chance that it becomes an exclusive Big 12 and also picked up by somebody like TNT or Max or Amazon or somebody as a contender to the other two college programs?
Did you know, Craig, that Big 12 Studios is doing their own show on TNT?
I did not.
Or HBO Max?
No, I did not.
That's because they're not Barstool. Yeah, I think the Big 12 show. Now, they've been doing this for years. Had you heard about the Barstool College Tailgate Show? Or whatever it is?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I didn't.
So it is the hour before everything else. It's on the internet. It's on YouTube. Right. Am I saying that these games will be exclusive to the Big 12? No, because they're in partnership with Fox, and at least 5 of the games they're going to follow.
All right.
But they're in Ames this weekend because the big noon kickoff is in Ames. If this Barstool Fox thing is successful together, if this morning show is successful that's airing on Fox, if they have a flourishing partnership, maybe this college show follows Big Noon Kickoff all year next year. Or if Fox in the Big Ten, and the Big Ten gets in Fox's ear and says, hey, we don't want – if we're going to be with Barstool, we're being with Barstool, and they're going to follow you every year, every week for the Big Noon Kickoff.
Would they split it,
That
Fox
could
and FS1? Would they put the big game show on one and Barstool on the other?
Well, currently Barstool wouldn't overlap because Portnoy's on both.
Yeah, right, but I mean, if it's stuck and they
if they want to put it on terrestrial, it would be the hour before.
Okay.
It's not during; it's the hour before. So, if College Game Day locally is 9 to 11,
they're on 8 to 9.
They're on 8 to 9. Down the road a little bit.
Okay. Well, I'm all for Yormark trying it. I understand. I just don't want them to think that it's going to be a Pat McAfee, because that's that. You need your Pat McAfee, and I hope that this is what that turns into.
When the frustrating thing is Pat McAfee should be a voice for the Big 12. He's a freaking West Virginia Mountaineer.
Yeah.
But leading up to that TCU North Carolina game, it was all about Big Bill.
Yep.
And sitting down after the game, they were just shocked that the Big 12 was successful.
It was a love fest is what it was.
And that made me sick, by the way, on the pregame show when they're, my buddy Bill Belichick, Nick Saban, my previous coach and friend, I couldn't possibly pick against Bill Belichick.
Yeah.
We're secret. Anyways.
Yeah.
All right, back to the Benchwarmers questions. Let's get a couple of these in. It is Ask the Benchwarmers. What's your Cowboys score prediction tonight for the game on Double T 97.3? Hey, shout out for that texter giving me a free shout out there. The game is on Double T 97.3.
17-14.
17-14. Cowboys?
Yes.
Eagles?
Cowboys.
Cowboys win. Okay. I've made a believer in Craig. What about the boys in the producer's room here?
I'm going to go 28-17 Eagles.
Okay.
I'm going to go 34-10.
Eagles.
Ouch. I'm going to go 27 with a 62-yard field goal from Aubrey. We'll go 27-24. Let's make it tight. 27-24. And that is the Cowboys. This texter was at a Barstool bar in Chicago Saturday watching the Tech game.
That'd be interesting.
Hey, there you go.
Yep.
This on Barstool, PMT, pardon my take, is still elite, and Brandon Walker is actually a really good college football guy. He's a Mississippi State fan. But the rest of Barstool is pretty cringy nowadays. Yeah, they have some daily shows. Even now, it's called The Yak. But a lot of these podcasts, they're fine, but they've done probably 150 podcasts in the last 15 years. I mean, they're just throwing them at the wall.
Yeah.
And the college football podcast with Casey, I think is her name, Casey, the A&M fan, they just hired a really popular Louisiana radio guy, T-Bob Hebert, who played at LSU. They've got a guy in there now.
I would have never guessed with Hebert as your last name.
They got the Indiana center in there, Michael Kadick, who has not done much sports talk yet, but he played center at Indiana last year. He's just known for getting drunk currently at Barstool, but I would assume they work him into it. They also have a guy named John Gruden over at Barstool who's going to do a lot of NFL content this year. Why not put him on more college football stuff?
Yeah. It's Casey Smith.
Smith. She's an Aggie. I don't really listen to Casey.
There's a lot of people who think Gruden might be the next coach at blank, fill in the blank, because...
Hey, follow me here. All
right.
Sam Pittman gets fired.
Yeah.
John Gruden. Ed Orgeron.
Yeah.
Offense, defense. Linking up at Arkansas.
Could be. Could be.
I don't want to take just 20 seconds here to shout out the life of Wendell Taylor. Passed last Wednesday. My granddad, 88 years old, Just an incredible human being, at peace at the end. Funny, witty, smart, successful. I look up to him in a lot of ways, want to be like him, and I hope to live the next 40 years of my life trying to do so. This is the end of the bench. We'll have one more day for you before Kent State kicks off on Saturday afternoon. See you tomorrow.
This has been the End of the Bench podcast from 100.7 The Score. Go to 107thescore.com for more from the Double T Sports Network.